When I was in elementary school, my best friends were Victor and Mark and Robbie and Ken. And by the time I got to junior high, the girls who wouldn't speak to me were Cindy and Susan and Kathy and Lisa. Back then, every other guy was David, Michael, or John. Every other gal was Mary, Linda, or Deborah. It's gotten fancier now. Liam, Elijah, Noah, Lucas, Olivia, Charlotte, Isabella, Harper. Frankly, I'm in no mood to meet another Evan, Ethan, Emma, or Ella. Archer or Adelaide, get out of here. Now, it's your kids, so you can name them whatever you want. You can name your boy Carburetor, or Carby for short. You can name your girl Avocado, or Avi for short. But we're reaching maximum capacity for this pretentious and preposterous stuff. So you can take Aiden and Gabriel and Scarlett and Wyatt and Marquise and DeAndre and Morgan and Fiona and Logan and Xavier and Claire and Delilah and Carter and Jelani and Autumn and Yanisha and Callista and Barker and Gunner and Emerson and Deacon and Apollo and stick them all where the sun don't shine. Heck, Jared alone makes me gambling mad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. And welcome to Gambling Mad with Norman Chad. Gambling Mad, as always, brought to you by Fritos, picked daily off of Central California trees every morning, direct to your retailer every afternoon. And by Fresca. It's recuperating. It's remarkable. It's refreshing. It's Fresca. Fritos and Fresca, it's a meal. Today on the show, are slot machines the new road to riches? Is Bill Belichick a pig? And what is the record for most Madonna tattoos? But first, we've got to do that stadium thing again. That's where we tell you that some city or state is willing to pay for a new stadium for an NFL or MLB team that is valued in the billions. You know, I don't want to do this anymore. So this is the case this time. There are two Kansas cities, in case you didn't know. There's Kansas City, Missouri. There's Kansas City, Kansas. So the two Kansas cities are right there. They split the Missouri-Kansas border. The MLB Royals and the NFL Chiefs play in Kansas City, Missouri, whose residents just voted against continuing a sales tax that would be used to maintain the existing stadium complex. The Chiefs were hoping for an $800 million renovation of Arrowhead Stadium. The Royals want to build a $2 billion ballpark in downtown. This is where Kansas City, Kansas, and the state of Kansas stepped in. Those feckless phonies at the State House just passed legislation to provide tax money to lure the Chiefs and the Royals across the state line. Bonds would cover 70% of a new stadium's cost. The state of Kansas would have 30 years to pay off this money from sports betting, state lottery sales, plus new sales and alcohol taxes generated in the area around each proposed stadium. I'm going to throw up. I am going to throw up! Does anybody care that I'm going to throw up? Well, let me say this before I expectorate. This is the oldest shim-sham, grift, con game swindle in the business. I'm tired of it. Teams pit municipalities against each other, and one always coughs up the money because who doesn't like reaching into taxpayers' pockets so you can get a good photo op cutting the ribbon at a shiny new facility? I'm gonna throw up! Let's talk about slots for a moment. Slots, my least favorite form of gambling. But they're all the rage now. There's something called advantage slot play. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with what we call advantage players in gambling. It could be slots, it can be sports betting, it can be blackjack, it can be roulette, whatever. An advantage player looks for an edge that others don't know about. Sometimes this is a glitch in the system, sometimes a little crack in the armor, and they take advantage of that edge, and that's how they make money. When it comes to slot machines lately, there's been something going on with Buffalo Link and Frankenstein slots, where you're able to tell what's going to happen with them based on numbers on the machine and things building up here and all the stuff going on that I don't understand. It's become such a small, booming business that there are people out there, they're called sour rooters. Sour rooters. If you're a sour rooter, you're probably not a good person. What's a sour rooter? They look for these machines that are about to seemingly pay off big. Now, if somebody is playing at the machine and they can see it's about to play off big, and that's just some type of innocuous person doesn't even realize that, the sour rooter will try to root out that person from that machine. They'll do this by intimidating them. They'll start just like stand behind them and talk garbage to them. They might blow smoke in their face. Whatever they can do to drive out the innocent person so they can swoop on in and get the big payoff. There are friends of mine. These are all professionals, by the way, successful people, lawyers, actors, elected officials. They now wander the casino floor looking for favorable machines. Well, I'm not too happy with their behavior here. I mean, ask yourself this. If someone told you that people dropped a lot of change on the sidewalk and that you can make a living wage looking for it all day, would you? I mean, that's what slot advantage play feels like to me. Just wandering the streets looking for nickels and dimes on sidewalks. My advice to my advantage slot friends, this is a disadvantage in the game of life. There's no there. I hate to preach. Actually, I love to preach. I hate to preach, but it goes to the heart of the moral or spiritual dilemma with gambling in general. At the end of the day, you're either ahead or behind. What have you accomplished? How have you made the world a better place? And most importantly, how are you going to handle your taxes? You need a good accountant if you're a gambler. Stop advantage, stop playing. Time for D-Gen's going to D-Gen. D-Gen's going to G-Gen. Case number 1. At a Lakeland, Florida McDonald's recently, some customers in the drive-thru were unhappy with an incorrect order, according to the Click Orlando website. The customers argued with an employee. The employee, Chastity Gardner, then allegedly threw a drink at the car as it began to exit the parking lot. 2 of the customers then got out of the car, went back to the drive-thru window, opened it up, and threw drinks at Gardner. Gardner then grabbed a handgun, came outside, and fired at least one shot as the car drove away. She was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. A few things to take note of here. 1, are all McDonald's employees packing heat these days? 2, I got to admit, I also get upset as a customer. I also get upset when the French fries I order are lukewarm. And 3, not all Happy Meals are Happy Meals. McDonald's. D-Gen's gonna D-Gen. Case number 2. Tara Berry of Topeka, Kansas, now has the Guinness World Record for most tattoos of the same musician on her body. The old record, as most of you would know, 15 of Eminem on the body of Britt-Nikki Patterson. The new record, UPI reports, is 18 of Madonna on Berry's body. That's 18 Madonna tattoos justifying her love for the 65-year-old pop icon. She got her first tattoo of Madonna in 2016. Berry works for a mobile phone company. Sometimes she had trouble putting together money for the tattoos. She estimates she has spent nearly $10,000 on the tattoos, and she actually got most of them over a 6-month period. From my standpoint, the only upside to this story is this. I work with a couple of people I'd rather not call out, than Rick and Bree, who are very, very tattoo fluent. Very, very tattoo heavy. I'm not a tattoo guy. No tattoo anywhere. But I'm hoping this Madonna thing, it's interesting. I'm hoping it inspires one or both of my coworkers with whom I have a very good relationship, to maybe get 18 or 19 tattoos of Ma. I would be flattered. You can go online. There's a lot of images of me. If you just Google Norman Chad and go to images or videos, and then, different smiles, different hair, and you get and I wouldn't mind thigh, ankle, whatever. Hey, whatever you all want to do, you can do. There's an old saying, if you live long enough, you will see everything. For instance, if I live to 72, maybe I'll be dating a 24-year-old. Which brings me to Bill Belichick, a 72-year-old now dating a 24-year-old. Now, incredibly, I have lived long enough where I'm actually going to be defending Bill Belichick here. Ooh, I don't like the sound of that. Defending Bill Belichick. But let's go to it. So Belichick, the 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach, is now in a relationship with 24-year-old former cheerleader Jordan Hudson. The looky-loos are not happy. I think Mark Schlereth, former NFL player, current talk radio bloviator, and nonstop commentator on NFL telecasts, I think he spoke for many when he said this on his radio show. Quote, "I think he's a pig. It's disgusting. It's just awful. What are you doing? You look like an absolute clown. What is wrong with you?" End quote. Schlereth also pointed out that Belichick was 48 years old when his new girlfriend was born. So let me understand this. If Belichick were dating, say, a 120-year-old, would Schlereth still call him a pig? Or maybe is the woman a pig? I mean, she was 48 when he was born. People. We're on this earth for a relatively short time. Why do we pack so much misery into it? Why do we care what other people are doing? Let live. The football coach and the cheerleader are consenting adults. Now, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she's largely unaware that Belichick is a cheating, lying, son of a bitchin' football coach. But if they're happy or unhappy, let them be. What suddenly we need Mark Schlereth to put his personal stamp on our relationships? My only criticism here of the coach, and so be it, is they originally met on a flight, okay? And Belichick saw that she had a philosophy textbook, and he inquired what philosophy project she was working on. Really, Coach? What type of pickup line was that? Hey, you into metaphysics or aesthetics? Weak, Bill, weak. Go old school and just say, haven't I seen you around this flight before? Bang! That works. Good luck to you, Bill. I want to quote LeBron James when he recently was speaking highly of his former teammate Kyrie Irving. LeBron said to have a guy like Kyrie Irving is the ultimate wild card. It's like having a draw 4 in your hand every time someone deals you cards in Uno. This is amazing. Forget Kyrie Irving. LeBron plays Uno. I play Uno. I love Uno. Okay, up until now, I have never been a LeBron fan or a LeBron detractor, but if you play Uno, I will walk across the desert barefooted with a single can of Fresca to defend your honor. Other than poker, there are 2 card games that could put America back on track: Uno and Racco. If every American family played Uno Monday nights, Racco Wednesday nights, poker Friday nights, and went bowling on Sunday afternoons, we would kick China's ass from here to Shanghai. Okay, here, take a look at Racco. Have you ever seen Racco before? Racco, great family fun for over 50 years. It is great family fun for over 50 years for me. Oh, that's interesting. Colors and parts may vary. Made in China. Made in China! Can we do nothing on our own anymore? They've taken over the Racco business. Anyway, forget the China thing. Go online and order Racco. It won't cost more than $15. If you don't like it, I will refund your money. You heard me. I am personally guaranteeing Racco. It's a game changer. It's a life changer. it can be a nation changer. Before we wrap up, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. Stephen A. Smith wants $25 million from ESPN. I would give him $25 million to go away. Okay, let's start with the obvious point. I don't have the money on hand. I barely have $25 if I've got a couple of people who want refunds from buying Racco. But here's the situation. Stephen A.'s contract at ESPN is up for renewal. They have offered him $18 million a year. He's seeking $25 million a year. Is he worth it? As they say, whatever the market will bear. He is ESPN's best-known personality, and some days it feels like he's their only personality. He's on the air like every other hour. By sports media standards, he's actually a pretty entertaining entertainer. But it's just a lot of hot, polluted air. He talks nonsense, but delivers it as if it's common sense. He is full of verbal diarrhea. He spews out factual errors, and all the time, to borrow a phrase from the 1992 film The Mambo Kings, he acts like he's the last Coca-Cola in the desert. If I were ESPN, I would toss his bony ass out on the street and tell him to find his $25 million elsewhere. What's the worst thing that could happen? ESPN's ratings maybe go down a little, and maybe Stephen A. ends up running for president. That will do it for another edition of Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad. Hope to see you again next time. And remember, if you're going to roll the dice, make sure they're loaded.
Gambling Mad with Norm Chad is written by Norm Chad and ghostwritten by Norm Chad. Executive producer John Scheinberg, Rick Barrio-Dill, and produced by Norm Chad and Rick Barrio-Dill. Associate producer is Bree Khoury. Showrunner is Dan Telfer. Audio, video, engineering, and studio facilities provided by 360 Pod Studios Beverly Hills and Slap Studios LA. If you want to complain to Norm about anything, make sure to reach out at Gambling Mad Show, anywhere you get your socials, and at Gambling Mad with Norm Chad on YouTube. And if you really want to get at him, send a message to info@slapstudiosla.com. And big thanks to Tony, the special sauce, who truly is the boss. Thank you for the cookies and the treats. We promise you to make the post-production move faster.